Good afternoon everybody, welcome back. We are back in the Canary Islands after quite a long hiatus since visiting the big selection of islands, really popular with European tourist sort of industries all the way across Europe, including the UK. Bacon Sani, hello. Night Shepherd, Elliot, welcome guys. Rab, Aaron, Badger, Ian, good day to you over in Perth, good evening. Samuel and Dwyer, welcome folks, and everyone else tuning in wherever you are based in the world. We're going to have our work cut out for us today. We're heading out of Tenerife North, where we currently are situated in this Binter ATR 72-600. We're off to La Gomera, very small airfield, about 20 minutes flight away. We're on the VATSIM network, of course, and we depart Tenerife North, situated on a hill, as you guys can see here at the moment. I'm going to try and get that METAR command working. We're boarding with GSX currently. Let's see if we can refresh it. GCXO. Samuel, been with us for 2 months. Thank you very much for your ongoing support. Might just need to wake up that METAR command. Living the dream, welcome. Lazaros Kalispera. MPS Gaming as well, hello to you. Sweden won Eurovision yesterday by the sounds of it. To be fair, it was quite a good song, although it was the one where she was singing, pushing a box up with those massive nails and stuff, wasn't it? There's the METAR for our departure at Tenerife North in the live chat for you guys. Fairly choppy actually, and quite variable weather. If I then use the same command for GCGM, which is La Gomera. By the way, all of the scenery we've got today are all payware sceneries as well. So end to end, really good scenery. Purchased them all for yesterday when we were getting all of this ready to go. So I hope you guys enjoy the scenery as well. Outputting the stream in 2K 60 frames per second and all that sort of thing. Let's dive in. We'll discuss our flight plan and pre-flight planning and all that sort of gump as well. We've got an interesting first sector, a very, very interesting first sector in fact. That is the flight plan right there. Hola, Doc, good evening. And in the live chat as well, La Gomera's METAR, which is really variable. Incredibly variable. Right, on the charts, pop them up for you guys. We've only got 3 tabs open at the moment, so we're going to push start out of gate 7 where we are at the moment. QNH at Tenerife North 1023, and the MCDU on the right hand side, you can see our flight plan as we chat about it too. Tenerife South to Juliet departure, so departing runway 30 initially, flying runway heading to 10 DME from Tenerife North's VOR, which is tuned in as well, 117.7, and intercepting an outbound radial of 269 degrees out to Texel, where we're going to be level at flight level 70, which is the initial altitude clearance limit. From there, we're not going to continue with the SID, and we've got just a little bit of La Gomera appearing in the corner there. From Texel, we're going to then fly VFR to La Gomera. So we take that off, we go to VFR charts. From Texel, we're going to head towards the corner of this bit of land here before heading south easterly, or south-southeasterly towards the Tenerife South VOR, but kind of heading out to the midpoint of this body of water between the 2 islands. And then we're going to be visual with La Gomera, hopefully, flying in round the coast, descending round for a visual approach to runway 27. It's going to require a backtrack, so we need about 4 minutes or so separation between each of the departures out of Tenerife North today. This is a super short first sector to really get the blood pressure going, get the blood pumping. No arrival charts either, so if we go to approach vicinity charts, that is all you get. Cythera, hello buddy, welcome, welcome. Carbura, hello from Tenerife, great for you to join us today. So that's all we're going to get. We can see at La Gomera the runway is really small, 1,500 meters length, and we're going to use stand 2 out of the 3 ATR sized stands available at La Gomera today. There are no proper stars that we're going to use today. Although in theory you could come in via that Tenerife South to Juliet arrival, look, Texel, Ganta, Tenerife South, and then fly in 275 degrees if you wanted to keep it all IFR in via Colony for that visual approach. But again, doesn't really help us massively. If under visual conditions at Ganta, request cancellation of IFR flight plan and request AT clearance, Tenerife South approach to proceed to Echo 2. Echo 2 is that waypoint there. That is kind of it. I mean, GCXO, we've got number 1 here. If under visual conditions at Ganta, request cancellation of IFR flight plan. So we could extend Texel to Ganta, where that little 1 inset is, and then from there fly the visual approach. But I was having a little study on flight radar, and they tend to kind of go visual from Texel, really, from what I can kind of gather and see. It's going to be interesting. That's all we've got. We've got no other charts to assist us really for this first sector. The runway length is the most important one. We're going to need reverse prop. Carlos, fun fact, in South Gran Canaria there is a beach called Playa del Ingles, the Englishman's beach, so you'd feel like home. Greg, hello. Hola, in Spain. Let me get rid of... There's no giveaway today. Nightbot keeps reactivating my things, which is very weird. Let me just disable that again. There we go. Yeah. And I'll remove that as well so we don't start getting weird things. Right, on the flight plan, that's all we've got. But GCGM, there's nothing. No stars, no approach. We can't even tell the aeroplane what runway we want to use. Transition 6000, we've gone for flight level 70. Elliot, no, just be vectors. It's going to be fly runway heading, then head south over the water, because otherwise you're going to hit terrain. Mean winds, not going to worry about that either. This is such a short leg, we don't need to kind of faff with that. VNAV. So perf. Cruise. Got cruise altitude of flight level 80 put in there, that's important. And our weights for today. Zero fuel weight of 19.3 tons. And gross weight 20.9 tons. Fuel on board 1,605 kilograms. Nice and light. 1228. Our call sign today for this first sector, Binter 6 Golf Romeo. How are we doing? Last couple of bags coming on. We're slightly ahead of schedule, which is good. And what we can do is get hotel mode active. So I'm still using the stable version of New Sky. Because of that, I don't want to have them deduct points from us unnecessarily. So I'm going to go beacon lights on for this, even though realistically you wouldn't. You'd turn the wing lights on instead. The signal hotel mode's about to be activated. Pump 2 run. Round we go. Prop brake is on guarded blue. Butter says, hello, the real flight from Tenerife North runway 30 to Las Palmas is via Tenerife VOR Artem Candy GDV Arnetta, then the ILS approach. Total flight time is about 22 minutes. Nice. We're going to Tenerife North to La Gomera first though. Then we're going to head from La Gomera to Gran Canaria. Pop that into feather mode. Boarding complete. Love it. Let's get GSX prepped for pushback. DC Gen 2's got the power. Clear the aeroplane away. Let's get rid of the ground equipment. Beacon lights already on. We're prepping for pushback. First sector of a minimum of 3 today. Time permitting, we might squeeze in a 4th as well. Joey, absolutely. Quite a windy day though. Very, very windy day. What did we have before a minute ago? We were mentioning the METARs. So Tenerife North at the moment winds 360 degrees at 8 knots, variable between 310 degrees and 060 degrees. Makes it interesting for departure. View clouds 2,000 feet, temperatures 18 degrees Celsius, dew point 10 degrees Celsius. The visibility is all the 9s. QNH 1023. Get rid of the music. And on the charts, we want to have where are we? Make sure I get the right set of charts up here. Taxi charts, parking stands and coordinates. Gate 7. We want push and start facing north, southwest on, southeast on Romeo.
Tenerife North traffic. Binter 8, Lima runway 3005, my fun.
Beacon lights, lights and signs all set as required. We'll leave start A and B engaged for now because we're about to fire things up. Release the gust lock. Tenerife North traffic, Binter 6 Golf Romeo, gate 7, QNH 1023, push start facing southeast on Romeo. Make sure the chocks are removed. And sector 1 of 2 begins. So, we're going to start with rotation of propeller 2 first. It's active in hotel mode. We'll clear the master caution for now. Unguard the prop brake. It's going to go unlock red. Maybe not. And we'll throw that up into automatic. Checking the engine T's and P's. Ergy's landing ramp.
Traffic, 495.
Captain EU, welcome.
Past stand 3.
That extent might be a bug. What else have we got here? Let's see. We can see Ergy's touchdown. Jeez, he's coming in hot. He's coming in hot. Under the base of the brow of the hill there, so we can't see him. Rab's at the threshold watching Hergy. Don't know where he's gone. There he is. Very good, very nice. Happy to be pushing us back today. Hydraulic pressure's good, so we're going to go flap 15. Pump 2 is, yeah, it's on run. We'll leave it on run. And we'll go off, start and abort. And we'll wait for pushback to be completed. Yes, look at that. Very nice. Couple of Ospreys with us. Loads of Ospreys with us. Excellent. And we'll taxi out initially with 1 engine. So we've got a Binter over there, 2 Osprey ATRs, a proper brave, brave pilot in the 737-800. I'm not hopeful. And another ATR on stand 6. And then Hergy's just taxied in from another leg elsewhere into Tenerife North to join us. Where'd Hergy go? Ah, he's just vacating right down the bottom. So, let's continue. We're going to go surveillance. So I'm going to pop the transponder on. TCAS on automatic. Nav. I'm going to leave it on norm because we're going to be fiddling around quite quick. So initially we would go for above, then we'd change to normal below for descent. 1228. Navs are both set to a VOR, though we're not really going to be using them all that much. We're going to rely on that ONAV path to 8,000. You know what, I might set 8,000 now actually. Runway elevation in La Gomera, 716 feet. We've got to mentally bear that in mind. I've not done this before in this aeroplane, so it's going to be interesting. And some control checks. It's going to go full right. ABS Gaming says I'm a little bit afraid for the approach and landing, and hoping it doesn't crash into a mountain. You and me both. Now I'm making sure I'm doing kind of double checks. Don't want the over-sensitivities in the sim too much. Just in case we have any problems on the approach.
Traffic Osprey 495, taxi hold short 30 via Romeo.
Tenerife North traffic, Binter 6 Golf Romeo taxi and hold point Echo 5 runway 30 via Romeo. That's set. We're not going to worry about minimums. We'll just go for a nominal 1,000 feet. Trim setting up 0.9 apparently. There you go. Yeah, it's taken the new Sky one, that's why. Doc. Right, what else have we got? We want taxi lights. This is going to be interesting today. Set only norm. Nav and VNav speed are armed. Power management mode is set to takeoff. And let's go for start one. Couple of engine instruments over there, very small though, as Sergey said, or Rab said a moment ago. Probably get my where is it? ATR checklist. Job.
Tenerife North traffic Osprey 2472 is pushing back from stand 6 and moving facing to the east. Tenerife South traffic. Correction, Tenerife North traffic.
Let's go into auto mode. Watch it go through single channel, then low pitch for engine 1. Aileron and rudder trim set neutral. And once we've got engine 1 fired up and stable, then we will make sure that we do our takeoff config tests as well. As quickly as we get airborne, folks, we're going to be pretty much thinking about arriving into La Gomera. Off and abort. Overhead panel, no white lights. Lights and signs. Just locks removed. And then we're going to press the little takeoff config button here. Takeoff config test OK. And TLU set to low speed auto. Yeah, Rab, make sure you've updated it post update, because now it rotates fairly nicely now. High altitude here at Tenerife North. South, by contrast, is lower down on the coast. South is the one that most people predominantly fly into and out of when they are going on holiday to the Canary Islands. Watching our taxi speed here, making sure we don't run away.
Tenerife traffic Osprey 495, lining up runway 30.
Huh? Who's that?
Osprey 598, push back at parking.
Oh wait, maybe they're at different airport.
13.
Oh no, I can see some green lights. Got like an invisible plane there. So I've been bold with this. I'm tracking it on New Sky as an Osprey Airways flight. We're just wet leasing the aeroplane from Binter. That'd be the King Air, and I assume that's not rendering in particularly well. There's the windsock, by the way. Really important we take note of that. It's actually showing a gusting crosswind, in fact. So going to make it a bit challenging for us.
Tenerife traffic Osprey 495, departing 32 on the Tango Foxtrot Sierra 2 Delta departure. Tenerife traffic.
I can see the white light there, but I can't see the aeroplane. Really weird.
Via Romeo and Echo 5.
Cool. Hopefully when we get to La Gomera, stand 2 is free and available for us. Tenerife North traffic, Binter 6 Golf Romeo is lining up runway 30. Strobes, landing lights. For some reason the strobes are already on. Don't remember clicking them on. Maybe I did it by accident though. That's all set. That's all good. Transponders on. Samuel, no, there's 3 stands. That's why I said we need to kind of leave a couple of minutes separation, but hopefully it means that we can, as some of us are landing, there'll be like 1 or 2 preparing for pushback as well. Who knows? We'll find out when we get there. It's the worst that could happen. Right. Flight idle. Part brake set though still. I'm going to do a quick recall just to make sure I haven't missed anything else. I'm waiting for that aeroplane to depart. I can't really see them, so... Right, here we go. Bit of a VFR leg for us.
North traffic, Osprey 2472 is taxiing to hold point Echo 5 via Romeo. Tenerife North traffic.
Tenerife North traffic, Binter 6 Golf Romeo is taking off runway 30, Tenerife 2 Juliet departure VFR to La Gomera, Tenerife North traffic. So, let's get the control visualizer up. A little bit of forward stick like most aeroplanes to help us with power.
Tenerife North traffic, Binter 4 Romeo Charlie.
Notch.
Runway 30.
So actually quite a bit of left rudder here, so also making sure that we maintain some right aileron to balance the aeroplane as we accelerate. We're going through 80 knots, we should have some sort of rudder authority now, so releasing the nose wheel forward pressure on the stick. Whoa! This is hard, my goodness. Getting thrown around all over the place. Come on, let's get to V1. Lots of left rudder. V1, rotate. Oh, holding that pitch, making sure we don't... There we go. Positive rate, gear up. Jeez! That's full on. Maintaining the left turn to follow the LNAV path. I've changed it to medium dock. Oops. Went to press yaw damper there, but ended up clicking autopilot by accident, but it happily then gives us that authority anyway. We're going to go to the climb gate now. Change our climb speed to 170. Yeah, realistic's really choppy. It's going to be near on impossible, in fact, for flights into places like La Gomera for things like realistic turbulence modes. But this one works well enough. And we're airborne, getting absolutely battered by the weather. There's going to be a slight delay as we get on the ground into La Gomera, and that's because we need to then configure all of the bits and bobs that we use for streams, like Volanta, New Sky, Navigraph charts, all of that stuff. Basically making sure that we've got it all set up ready to go. Tessel. Alec, hello. Flight level 360, nice. Aaron, it depends what model matching system you are using. We're going to go push heading modes. So we've got no navigational systems for us to help us into La Gomera. We've got no minimums or no charted approaches. What else do I want to just kind of tick off and cross-check? Jeez. See, you know you've got this impending, very difficult approach only a few minutes away. And we've only just taken off. 6,600 feet, so we'll go to standard pressure. And La Gomera's QNH 1022, winds 230 degrees at 8 knots, variable 190 degrees and 260 degrees. Few clouds 2,500 feet. Remarks, runway 09, threshold winds 200 degrees at 6 knots, variable 110 degrees and 270 degrees. And then the approach winds are 210 degrees at 7 knots, variable between 170 degrees and 280 degrees. So this is tough. That is very variable wind. But that is because as well, La Gomera and the runway is situated on a hill. The town's ironically just below the runway. Let's hope we don't overshoot. And we're going to get winds, depending on the actual wind of the day, we're going to get winds blowing around and giving us wind shear on approach. We've got La Gomera VOR that we could use, although they wouldn't really use it in real life, I don't think. 1160.
Tenerife North traffic.
266.
Lining up runway 30 and waiting for separation. Tenerife North traffic.
There's that top of descent marker that somebody mentioned a moment ago is a little bit way away off the flight plan route on another similar route as well to this. Rab, oh, tail strike. Boo. Just assume I'm flying my lovely PA-28, Doc says. The mighty Piper. Tenerife traffic, Binter 6 Golf Romeo, passing Texel, flight level 80, cancelling IFR flight plan, VFR to La Gomera, expecting visual approach runway 27, will report inbound to the fields. Damo, hello buddy, good afternoon, welcome, welcome. Yeah, fixed wing, so if you're flying, say like the PMDG 737 or something like that, you could input a fixed ring, or you could do an extended centre line, which would really help with your navigation. I'm going to go to heading mode. There's La Gomera. Doesn't look like it. I've not found fixes in here, to be fair, at any point. I don't know what mark means. Could be mark, as in marker. I want the perf page. Where are we? Menu, previous, next. So that one. So we get our approach speeds activated shortly. Yeah, be right, Cythera. Eventually the route is actually done completely visual, so they wouldn't even use the VOR on approach from what I've read in the research that we've done over yesterday when we were planning the route. Sanad, of course you can. Ask away. Hello William, welcome. 226 is quite a good speed actually for this. We're going to come left 230 degrees. In fact, let's go left 210 degrees. Yes, Lazarus, yeah. Separation really, really vital for us today. Here we are. Pretty much at top of descent already, to be honest. Visibility's good for it. We've just got the weather. We're expecting turbulence. Sanads, I've created some VATSIM tutorials to help you. So do have a little look at those. Ah, Cythera, I wouldn't worry about that, buddy. As long as you enjoyed the flight, that is all that matters. We'll go left 200 degrees. David in Malaga, hello, welcome. Hope you're having a good holiday. You're touring all over the place. You were in Naples the other day. Right, so we're at 8,000. We're expecting a descent quite quick, actually, in this. I'm worried about the that King Air that we couldn't see because it's just a white light, so I won't even see if it's on the runway when we're making our approach. What are we on at the moment? We're on altitude hold. I've set 4,000 as a safety margin for a missed approach. So what's difficult here is we don't get depth perception afforded to us. Like you would in real life, where you'd be able to look at that terrain properly around you and understand your distance to it, roughly, from your visuals, rate of descent and all that sort of thing. Yeah, Lazarus, it's a King Air issue, I think, buddy. So we might end up high on the profile, just trying to work it out, but the runway, I think that's the airfield there, just coming into view, right on the corner. So if we were to descend now, we would be descending far too early, and we'd end up way too low. So in theory, yeah, that's frustrating, isn't it? So MSFS still a little bit problematic. Spawn gaming, you'd have to fly each one separate. Oh, Rab, that's not good. What are you flying? You're in MSFS, aren't you? Bring that in. So we've got 12 miles to La Gomera now. We're looking at that. Going to go to VOR mode just to help us. Going to give us a rough guidance to line up with the runway. Oh, that's the runway. Cool. So, let's bring the power back. Fuel damper, autopilot, we're going to go control visualizer, let's hand fly it in from 8,000 feet. What could possibly go wrong? So gently down. We might as well turn the flight director off because it's not going to help us. There's no track FPA with this either, sadly. Is that the airport? Yeah, it's really hard to tell. It looks like it's there. So we'll get to 7,000. I'll level off until we actually get visual with the runway proper. "12 miles" it's saying. So we should be visual with it. Yeah, it looks like it's just there. We'll find out in a moment. Just keeping the speed just trickling down. Yeah, it looks like the airfield there. Not quite rendered in yet though. Not properly, at least anyway. Bring that speed down. 180. J-foot, I've not found it, if there is one. Okay, so overhead panel, lights and signs. Set as required. There's the runway. La Gomera traffic, Binter 6 Golf Romeo is inbound 10 miles final, runway 27. "1022" for the QNH. That is set. Let's get rid of the music. Definitely need a keybind for that, really, don't I? 195. Speed's still coming down. What's our extension speeds here? 170 for lowering. 185 for flap 15. 170 gear down. Here we go. MCDU has changed. That's a little bit wild there for me. Little bit of fiddling around from me there. Oh, that's well high. Look at that. Can't even judge the difference. And Gomera traffic. Binter 6 Golf Romeo is going missed approach with a left orbit, 5 mile final. See, we've got loads of other people coming in behind us, so it's going to be really tricky if we start to go around and fly a big missed approach procedure with the downwind leg and everything else. We've got to bear in mind we've got a few flying in behind as well, so we're just going to fly a manual orbit, left orbit on final. Where are we? A couple of miles out. Yeah, way too high there, but again, like we were talking about in the sim, it's near on impossible to get any form of decent depth perception in a flight simulator comparable to that of real life. It just isn't the same. It's almost impossible to work out because of the nature of the display. Come on, Toby Eye Tracker. There we go. Where are we, Bo? Round we go. Still coming round. Yeah, boy, looking better. 126 still, so coming into approach speeds. This is a bit better.
Bound 275 radial for visual 27.
I mean, even now though, we're still looking high. This is a tricky runway. Gomera traffic, Binter 6 Golf Romeo, short final. Too high, too fast still. You just can't get your depth perception here. My god, you know what? Let's just sack it off. Go around. A bit of 6 Golf Romeos going around. PWS. We'll go left. And Gomera traffic, Binter 6 Golf Romeo is turning left crosswind. I could put it in beta. We are tracking this on New Sky though. Just doesn't want to descend. Again, depth perception. Just can't tell roughly where you are. In position to the ground. So you can see that the display shows the nose is too low. You can see that the speed is running away from you and all that sort of stuff. Trim's irrelevant, Doc, to descent, buddy. And it's pointless us trimming because we're chasing. And Gomera traffic, Binter 6 Golf Romeo is left downwind, runway 27. And hold 2,500 feet. Just checking approach there as well. Where are we at? 190. Let's bring the speed down. Let's go again. Oh, bloody Toby eye tracker. There we are. Gomera traffic, Binter 6 Golf Romeo turning left base.
Gomera traffic was preferred 95, reducing to minimums for visual 27.
People might just have to start holding in the water. Or over the water, not in the water. That would be bad. 185, let's go gear down. Just at gear extension speeds. And Gomera traffic, Binter 6 Golf Romeo's turning 3 mile final once again, runway 27. Oh. $150, that's good. So again, it just wants to slip away. We're descending on idle. So my plan now is to be a little low and a little slow. A little low initially, and then we're going to let the speed bleed away. So here we go, making it work. Certainly making us work for it, Elliot. You're right there. Absolutely. Woo! Massive sink there.
100.
Crikey.
10.
Pretty much just got sucked down then into that crevice. That's the worst landing I've done for a while. Yikes, we just got away from that, didn't we? I reckon we've been penalised heavily on New Sky. Right, let's try and backtrack quick for the others.
Gomera traffic, Osprey 2472 is 12 nautical miles to the east. Expecting straight in approach for runway.
I think so.
27.
We need some new trousers
Gomera traffic.
here at Gomera now. There's the windsock.
Traffic was preferred 95, 4 miles final 427.
But on approach, it just seemed to be entirely different to what we expected. But landing rate's not too bad. We just really stuffed it on the approach there. We just made it. I mean, at that rate, if we were going to go around again, we were going to have to just divert back to back to Tenerife. Oh, okay, now everyone else is due in next. That's somebody on stand 2. Gomera traffic, Binter 6 Golf Romeo is vacating.
Okay, Gomera traffic was preferred 95, landing to
We've got the engine issue. where you can only turn left now if your right engine is on. Brilliant. That's literally where I was going to park. No bother. GSX parking stand 3. Binter Atlantica.
Gomera traffic Osprey 495 going around.
It's another go around. Get flaps up. Hey, we did say this is going to be hard today.
Gomera traffic, Osprey 2472, 5 nautical mile final for runway 27. Gomera traffic.
I know you guys are absolutely desperate to see how badly we've done. So what we're going to do is spin her around. We're in hotel mode for now. We've got 1 or 2 on final. Oh, somebody's disappeared. There's the touchdown zone. By the way, that's the aiming point. So even if you land short at an airport like this, it's not too problematic because they appreciate that it's a short runway. So like Skiathos, you can land short of it, and we should not be penalised for it in New Sky, according to the wiki. Right. How well did we do? Badly, I'm sure. I put it up here, so there's literally no hiding it from you guys. Down state power change, landing rates there, recorded. Gear set down.
Gomera traffic, Osprey 2472 is quietly crapping himself.
Hey, you know what? I got 9.58 for that. Slight deduction of the short landing, and off centerline landing as well, but did that little orbit, and then it did that downwind, and then with the short finals, that kind of base turn there. Here's Ian, I think. Yeah, you know what? That's not too bad actually. I thought it'd be a lot worse. We made profit as well. Here comes Ian. Now that looks proper, doesn't it? Looks much better. Oh.
Traffic controller, Osprey 598 on final.
No penalties for the go-around, because the go-around is the safer thing to do than just committing. If we had committed to it, we would have got penalties for being unstable on approach. This, by the way, is Simwing's La Gomera, I believe.
Having the runway inside, clear to land. La Gomera traffic.
Oh my god, there's a swarm of lights.
Is backtracking for runway 27.
There is no way whoever that is is making it down. Unless they're a C-17.
On 27, 3 mile penalty.
Oh! Right. God, I think that was the worst approach I've ever flown. But like you know what we're saying, it's difficult to get that depth perception.
We should be able to get out of your way before you come down.
Right, where are we? Next leg. VFR departure to LPC, direct.
And
Oh, that's it.
2472 is exited the active.
Okay. So, free flight. Oh, cargo's released now. In New Sky, folks. Exciting. Somebody did mention it in the live chat earlier, I just didn't know it was actually a thing, so we need to get some work put into Getting Osprey World Cargo fired up
Traffic Osprey 495, landing 27.
Into the system. GCLP next. Gran Canaria, 8076. Don't need new trousers yet.
Charlie, we're making a left turn to 110 degrees, waiting for our free spot to land runway 27. Gomera traffic.
Request deboarding.
Requested.
My bad, should have done that earlier. 1310. 1325 Z.
Passengers boarding.
That gives us time to begin to get all of the flight plans all set up ready. We need to generate the new route on SimBrief and get it fired up into the MCDU, refueling and all that sort of stuff as well. Hold on, did we see?
Gomera Traffic Osprey 495, backtracking to 7.
This, it's Parallel 42's Flow Pro. Cocoetti saying there that I wonder if anyone can help me select any other aircraft for my hangar but this. I'm so glued to the ATR right now. It's a good bit of fun, isn't it? That's the thing. I've got all these people walking around outside the front of the terminal building there, but I don't even know why. They're not. It says deboarded as if they've come out of our aeroplane. I'm very confused. Rab, that's really weird. I'm not really sure. I mean, you must have something really balked with the installation, buddy.
Gomera Traffic Osprey 495, runway vacating.
So this is a custom GSX profile, but they've actually done it the wrong way. I don't know where the passengers are going. They're just walking around. So I wouldn't recommend the custom profile here, clearly. So we're just going to go direct LPC. Again, a VFR route. Altitude 11,000 feet. 31 minutes total time.
Do you want to deboard crew?
And our call sign next is Binter 6 Zulu uniform. IBB6U.
Alpha on B27. Gomera.
Here comes another approach. Crikey, that looks proper sporty. Oh my god. See, this doesn't have spoilers, and the energy very quickly runs away from you to the point where it becomes a fair bit unmanageable, actually. You know what? That looks really good at the end. A little bit heavy. Watch the wing. Oh no! He's off. Uh-oh. Hey, you know what? Now it means that I know that my landing wasn't the worst. I jest. Ah, damn it. My flights, I'm configuring for the wrong flight here, hold on.
Gomera traffic, Osprey 569 Alpha, couldn't do a lift 360 to
Right. We'll get back in it. So we're at GCGM, aren't we? And then we're off to GCLP. Another one on final, looking very high though again, like I was earlier. That's book flight. We've got another one just off in the distance over there as well that we can see. I have no idea where them passengers are going. They're just all walking around aimlessly. Okay, so we're at 11,000 feet. Direct LPC. Analyze routes. Bam. Generate flight. Oh, it's an assault approach. Oh my god. No way. Oh. Oh. God. A bit of Fly UK magic. Jesus! Off he goes. The only thing he's not done is go for a swim. God, that was spicy very quickly, wasn't it? Christ. Fantastic. GSX. Let's request boarding, primarily because I'm curious to see what happens with this profile. I think you're right, Rab. Got to unload the flight plan from SimBrief, Navigraph, import the new one.
Gomera traffic Binter for runway Charlie, navigated runway 27 at Alpha, looking for a parking spot in the garage. Gomera traffic.
Gomera traffic, Osprey 569 Alpha, about to attempt an approach into runway 27 but not open.
Yeah, but you can't really trust your eyes though, J-Foot. That's the thing. Having flown like PA-28s and all that sort of thing in real life, I know you can't trust your eyes, let alone the lights in MSFS. So there is no true depth perception in the sim, that's the problem. So trying to work out all the rest of it makes it near on impossible, depth perception being so important for approaches. You just don't really get the same from a flight sim. One 636, 6214. That'll be the closest we can get again. Wait a second, that's the wrong flight plan, that's why. Too many flight plans, getting confused. Block fuel 1549 now. That's as close as payload 5911. 5917, that's as close as we can get. Menu, in it, wait. Press and hold. And we want the bin res and alternate fuel 726. Flight plan in its route GC. No, not GCXO. GCGM. GCLP.
Gomera traffic Osprey 1964 on final runway 27.
Here comes another victim. I mean pilot. IBB6ZU. Sorting out VATSIM as well. So, LPC. Try and sort this out. We've got ILS-3 left Zulu. Oh my god. Don't even know who that is, but I've hidden them. Hey!
We extract the Osprey 1964 package.
And we got another one off short final. So ILS 3 left Zulu. No stars. We will tune the LPC VOR. That 1150, I think. Gotta get rid of the overlays here. So we're gonna go VOR ILS 1150. Enter. Still a bit far away. No, they're just walking around outside the front of the aeroplane. So weird. It's a custom GSX profile that we've got installed though, but it's obviously just been botched together. 110, runway heading for us, 266, we'll set that.
Customer traffic be maar runway 27 Alpha.
Another one in. ILS Zulu 03 left. Final. There, that'll do. You can see the windsock giving us a good indication of what's happening to the wind. That's looking really good. Beautifully on profile. Look at that. Pro pilot. Fantastic touchdown as well. Great job. I assume that's Hergy. Okay, let's dive back into the flight planning. So, charts on. Our route today then, for this next leg, straight out of La Gomera, we're going to initially depart, actually what have we got here? We've got some departures. Yeah, so outbound to Whiskey 2, And we could then go Whiskey 2 to that waypoint, then that coordinate north of the island to Ganta, then down to Tenerife South. But we may as well depart, turn left. It's VFR. We'll turn left and then exit on the downwind leg and head outbound. So we're going to tune on the VOR as well. 1164 is VOR 2. We will pop that in the box just to help us.
Well, like Gomera runway weekend.
And then on approach into Gran Canaria. Alright, where we got here? Lock, Zulu, ILS 03 left. Hold on. Oh, we'll just fly that Lock Zulu approach then instead. That'll be easier because I can't find ILS. Oh, hold on. There we go. ILS Zulu 03 left. I clicked the wrong bit. We'll do transition to final. Like so. So basically just flying VFR across the Canary Islands towards the ILS approach and expecting a straight in. If it's really busy though, then we'll be holding over that Gran Canaria South VOR in that kind of race track holding pattern. Just there in fact, you can see 5,000 feet. We want to be at the VOR, in fact we want to be on final, establishing on final at 3,000 at 9 miles, 3,000 feet. So with that in mind, 150, we can tune in here 1099 and VOR 2 1099 for the ILS frequencies. Missed approach is climb 026 degrees to 540 feet, turn right, max 210 knots, but not before 8 DME on a 119 degree track to intercept the outbound radial 059 from LPC, climb to 2,500 feet then as directed. And the minimums for this one, category B, 361 for the MDA. A big old discontinuity. We could clear the discontinuity actually. It's going to draw a nice little line for us. Why not? We've got beacon on. I've left the beacon on, good. Otherwise, New Sky may penalise for it. 13:25. So got 10 minutes to push back. Let's catch up on the live chat there. Neil says some pictures from Gran Canaria. Enrique as well said yesterday flew into Nigeria on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Been in Lagos a few times, it's quite nice. Living on a Player says, purchased the CRJ bundle yesterday. First flight, took off, the aeroplane promptly went into overspeed and overstressed the aircraft. Lots of work to do before I take that out on Osprey Ops. Biggest thing with that is making sure that you turn off things like aircraft stress damage and all that sort of stuff, because it's woefully unrealistic. 108. In fact, where's payload? Let's set that. They're all looking good. That's all set for now. Let's leave the VOR on. Chris, hello to you, saying any clues on finding the runway gradient from the Navigraph charts, please? So you kind of have to work it out. I'm not mega intelligent when it comes to that sort of thing, but you look at the airport at the threshold elevation. So runway 27 here at La Gomera, 712 feet. And then the airport elevation on the threshold of 09 is 716 feet. So you can see there's a 4-foot difference. For the purpose of 4 knot, I would literally just leave it at 0, to be honest. But then we look at Gran Canaria's runway. What are we going to be landing on? 03 left. So this one. Elevation at the threshold with the arrow, 77 feet. On the other end, 32 feet. So we're landing downhill. Actually, that's a decent little gradient as well, actually. So I'd assume there's an online calculator that allows you to work out the difference between the two into a percentage, but I really don't know how to do that. So I wouldn't worry about it, just leave it set to 0. I don't think there have been, Aaron, to be honest. Right, so that's set. Fuel load. Performance. Takeoff runway 27. Execute. We've got to give the aeroplane the information there, so it knows what runway we're using. And then now it shows the runway performance set. Oops, 6,000. Done it again. For the transition altitude. $11,000. 7,000. There's the weather into Gran Canaria. 020 degrees at 26 knots. My god, that's windy. View clouds 3000, QNH 1021. What do we got there? 020 at 26. Wow. That's better. That's deactivated. VNAV set. Perf is set. Flight plans ready to go. Hold on a second. Ah, you know what? I'm not going to worry about that. I don't know what it's doing there, but it's all a little bit balked. Oh no, it's not. I want to go to the LPC VOR, but it's not going to allow us. Not in database. Yeah, that's confusing because it's departure runway 27, then VFR straight onto the ILS 03 in about 30 minutes time. So that's where my confusion has kicked in there. How are we doing on GSX? Still boarding? No way. Oh no, it's just people walking around. I'm going to restart QATL. Get rid of all of them, because they're frustrating. How do you reset the airspeed again? Ian's asking. Good question. Just go to Perth, flick across to approach, and if it says deactivate or deselect, click the LS key there, and it will change to activate. It will revert then your speeds to your correct setting for departure again. I think that's all done. I don't think we can do much more than that. So let's rotate propeller number 2. Lights and signs. Close all the hatches. Parking brake is set on. And then onto the overhead panel again. Prop brake unguard. Unlock red. Condition lever automatic. Here we go. Does the turnaround weight work in the ATR now, Jay? But not yet, no. Fortunately not. What are we today? We're evens, aren't we? So we'll do start A. Pump 1 is active. Done. Just lock removed. Flat 15. Left on the controls and right on the controls, or alternate to what I've actually just said and done. And we'll check the rudder. Tempted to do flat 15, but we'll see what happens. Taxi lights on.
Traffic 1744, final 27.
Gomera traffic, Binter 6 Zulu uniform is stand 3, taxiing to hold point 27. Thanks, Kabura. Thankfully, this one is probably going to be a bit more forgiving. Interesting, go-around mode is still active there. Oh, that's kicked it out. Here comes, is it Walker? Woo.
1744 going around.
Yeah, this is tough because you've got the wind blowing in over the water. It's giving us lift and things right on the edge of the hill. It's pushing up against the airport. You've then got thermals, and you've got all the other things going on around the airfield to bear in mind as well. So you've got wind whipping up. Where's the windsock there? So, yeah, kind of whipping up that way. Then it'll be sweeping over, and you'll have like a bit of a downdraft over the short final there. So, really quite dangerous and quite tough. Let's get rid of the music again. What have we got then? So we got V pilot is done. La Gomera to Gran Canaria shown on the top of your screens on the Volanta stream overlay. New skies ready and working nicely, and Navigraph is good. Off start abort. Down here, that's both on automatic. That's good. That's what we want. Don't know where that aeroplane's gone. I reckon we can get out though. La Gomera traffic, Binter 6 Zulu uniform is backtrack 27 via Alpha.
La Gomera traffic Osprey 495, holding short 27 on Alpha.
Another person hidden. God, it's like the day of the trolls.
CGM traffic 1744, cancelling, landing in San Angelo CGM.
Okay, so that's all set. Yeah, Mr. Misterno, no idea, buddy. Oh, Neil, that's not good. Right, control visualizer. In fact, I just want to pause right there. Oh, Toby eye tracker. Get a little screen grab. The terrain in the background there. Okay, well I've got a solution here. What do we got? Ryanair 233. Who's got VAT Spy? Get me Ryanair 233's VATSIM ID, please. And we will put a stop to their mucking around once and for all with a supervisor ban. How's that sound? Gomera traffic, Binter 6 Zulu uniforms taking off runway 27, VFR departure to the south, inbound Lima Papa Charlie. So I'm actually going to use ramp here because of the short runway. We need more power. Cross set, not good for the plane, but it's good for us. Need to offset with aileron here.
And Gomera traffic, Osprey 2472 is lining up, runway, backtracking runway 27. Gomera traffic.
E1, rotate. Whoa. Go on, girl. There we go. Airborne. Flight director. Positive rate, gear up. And we'll head outbound south. Now we need to go back to notch to save the engines. We'll just bring the nose down a little bit as well. We'll leave the flight directors as they are for now, just because we're going to extend out. Southbound, we'll go to heading select mode in a moment and bring that back. Wow, that's bumpy.
Traffic La Gomera.
Climb gate.
Osprey 1964 holding.
Doc, thanks buddy.
Runway 27.
Lap traction speeds. Tidy the plane up. There's the airfield. Heading select, yaw damper, autopilot, and IAS mode. Gomera traffic, Binter 6 Zulu uniform is departing the circuit from the downwind to the south. Final call. 11,000, so we're leaving 3,000 now, 170 in the climb out, gears up, no lights, flaps up, showing 0. Yeah, there we go, that's all good. 116.4 is Tenerife South. 1150 is LPC. So we're going to go left 100 degrees, and that's going to have us track back. Let's go, yeah, 100 degrees. We can just about see Gran Canaria in the distance, in fact. Sector 202.
Gomera traffic, Osprey 155 is taking off runway 27 and we'll be turning to a left downwind. Gomera traffic.
Gomera traffic, Osprey 194, line up and take off, runway 27.
Ding! There goes the dot wallop for whoever CID 1650300 is. Enjoy. 6,000 feet. Transition. Go to standard pressure. Climb gate's still good, climbing nicely. Power's looking good, and the engine instruments over there look fine as well. So we're just flying in heading mode, pretty much. I'm tempted to just leave it in heading mode all the way, actually, just because it'd be quite nice to do. APS Gaming says, this is not fair by the ATR 72 threw me left, hard left, when he got on the runway. Please delete please delete my flight. Ooh, yeah, and that's not good. I don't understand the whole drone thing, to be honest. Mad Rabbit, so that's going to be potentially a scheduled service. If you've had a look recently in the call signs section of our Discord server, when we've been kind of reserving call signs and allocating call signs out to requests, there is a caveat now that we are using New Sky. A lot of our call signs, including my one Osprey 165, is taken up by a scheduled service, which means we can't really use it. So my recommendation there is, say, Osprey 184 in your instance, add an Alpha for first sector and Bravo for the second sector, so on and so forth if you wanted to use your own call sign. Because unfortunately there's no way around it, unless for the scheduled services we do A's and B's at the end of them instead. That's another way around it, but then we'll have to edit every single flight plan. Graham says, I have declared an emergency and heading to Las Palmas now. Oops. Oh, I don't know then, Mad Rabbit. 8,400. She's climbing quite slow actually today. We go right 105 degrees. Tenerife South is down there somewhere. In fact, there's Tenerife South Airport. Got that installed too. Number 1 responders in aviation, welcome to the channel. Great to have you on board with us today. It's funny, isn't it? Because whoever was doing the trolling a moment ago, they've certainly not said anything in the live chat. They've been quiet throughout, but they've now got a dot wallop against them with their CID, their user account number included in that. So call sign or not, they can't hide. And the report is with a supervisor to deal with accordingly now. It's funny, isn't it? It's not even like a alright, I'm just having a bit of fun, sorry, I'll stop now, it's boring. They just carried on. Rab says he's got an Osprey ATR below me. Epic. I wonder if that's me. Ooh, 10,000 feet. Landing lights. Oh, supervisor. That was quick. Rab, very good point. Is that user still around, by the way, folks? I've been asked by the supervisor, are they still disrupting the others that are on La Gomera? So if you're still on the island, let me know, and I can let the supervisor know. We're pretty much just going straight to our final approach fix there. 3,000 is what we're going to be targeting for that. So we've got 40 miles to go. Again, there's no top of descent marker with this flight plan. Hergy, yeah, fair enough. Well, it will be interesting to know if they do the same at Las Palma, Gran Canaria in a moment. But we've got a supervisor ready. Ready with a massive banhammer. That's impressive, isn't it? Look at that. We've not really kind of explored the Canary Islands that much recently. It's kind of an area that we've, I suppose you could probably say we've overlooked for some time, but it's because it's quite a far reach from the UK for flights. A long flight time. In that case, but summer's coming. A lot of these ops are going to be really valid now with the summer season going into full swing for the airline. Industry. That little, it is. There's a little random ship. Weird. Didn't expect to see that there. Wonder if that's part of the scenery that we've got. A whole sort of Tenerife thing. Rightio. So, oh, hello, power management. Set to cruise. My bad. What do you mean? We'll tell the aeroplane we're at cruise. So descent weather obtained. Let's have a look in the METAR in the live chat for GCLP. Still expecting that ILS Zulu runway 03 left approach. Minimums need to be set as well. What did we say there were earlier on? Let's just have a quick double check. 361. Up by 10s. So 360. I know it's only 1 foot in it, which is pretty much non-existent for a distance, but we'll stay good with a good habit. We'll round up instead of down. Is the Fenix A320, Jan is asking, worth to fly right now, or is it still a bit buggy? So some people don't have any issues with it at all. Some people have seamless flying experience with the Fenix, and some of us conversely have consistent problems and bugs with it. There are bugs, but it's really difficult to say, because when it works, it's remarkably good and very enjoyable. I really do quite like flying the Fenix A320. Rich in detail and complexity, very good simulation, but I do have my fair share of proper frustrating issues with it as well. It's hard to tell. You might find that you get those problems, and you might find that it doesn't cause you any issues. And not sure. The supervisor's got that user's CID anyway, to ideally just warn them about trolling in future. If not, they get banned. Hey, I'm all for joining in and having fun, but we'll do it like everyone else is doing it. We try and do it properly, so it doesn't spoil it for everybody else. That's the biggest thing on VATSIM. This isn't a multiplayer server after all. Hopefully the version 2 update clears a lot of the issues up Cythera, but we still don't really have a time for when that is coming in, do we? That's the only thing. It's still a little bit unknown. Oh, we need a timestamp for the live stream. When did we depart? Oh, I know. The logger entry will help. Position update 14. So that's in local. Takeoff 1427. Cool, there we go. He's got the YouTube link and he's got the rough time stamp. So I've given him the Zulu time, or the local time, sorry. .220 knots. It's interesting because a few people were saying the other day that it doesn't really want to accelerate beyond 210, 220 knots at these lower altitudes. At 8,000 feet it got to about 225-ish. We're holding it at 220 knots at the moment at 110. I would imagine we would be struggling to get 210 or 200 knots at flight level 190 or so. In that case, Doc, yeah, every cloud. I hate doing it. I hate doing anything like Doc Wallop style or anything like that. Just that's not me. But you know, there's loads of us flying along today. Zip. There we go. So, we want 026 for the inbound course. That is set. 1099, 1099. Uh, 1150. So we'll leave it on VOR1 for a little bit. Ed, it's up to you really. Navigraph would be very helpful if you wanted to use things like charts and all that sort of thing. Yeah, it's entirely up to you. Whatever you find works best for yourself as well when you're flying in the blah 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 A32NX with SimBrief. But having Navigraph with a Navigraph subscription, it will mean that your AirAx in SimBrief throughout the year will remain up to date, and that's one of the biggest pluses. And also, Navigraph integrates quite nicely into SimBrief quite well now, with Navigraph having bought them out about a year and a bit ago. Huge changes and improvements to that. Right, we've got minimum set, local QNH, we've got the weather, haven't we? 1021. QNH 1021. Inbound course 026. And it's on 1099. We've done the missed approach procedure, so we've briefed for that as well. Radios are set, anti-ice and wing engine anti-ice are not required. The landing elevation will remain on automatic, minimums are set. $20 miles. 30 miles to go. Got our supervisor. I've apologised for having to bring it to his attention. Yeah, as I was saying, don't like to do that usually, unless somebody becomes a royal pain in the backside. Right, what are we? 20 track miles. Gran Canaria traffic, Binter 6, Zulu Uniform ATR 72600, inbound flight level 110. Currently to the west of the field, 25 track miles, inbound for the ILS 03 left approach. We'll report final Gran Canaria traffic. Set 3. Again, no top of descent marker for this leg. Interesting. We got the, I think this is the airport with all of the vast wind farms on approach. The airport's just over there, by the looks of it, around the coastline. We get this great approach now over the island of Gran Canaria this time. The third island of 4 today.
Gran Canaria traffic, Walker 1744 is 10 miles and so to the ILS.
Gonna go right, 115 degrees now. Wind pretty negligible actually, 263 at 2. 10 miles, 15. So let's go to vertical speed mode. Let's head down. To flight idle. Lights. Signs. 1021 for the QNH. Wind 020 at 26 knots. Big old touristy areas there below. These are real world routes been to operate in real life, with the elements of the VFR that we're doing today as well. So they kind of just go for visual reference points and they look at the island, fly towards it, unless they get vectored by ATC of course. 3,800, let's increase that rate of descent. J-foot, pretty much actually, yeah. That's probably a good way to describe the Canary Islands. The European Caribbean. Uh, 1099, 1099. Make sure that's set. Course 026 degrees inbounds. That's now active as well. We're going to go right 120 degrees slightly here. And we've got an aircraft there on TCAS, so I'm going to be proactive to avoid. And we're going to come away. He's on long final by the looks of it there, so we'll assist. FYT 8141 I think that is. On text only potentially. Gran Canaria traffic, Binter 6 Zulu Uniform is turning right 170 degrees for separation of inbound traffic. Can't see him. 5 miles separation though, that's good enough for me. Let's bring that rate of descent down, do about 1200 foot per minute. We'll keep bringing the heading bug around now to think about establishing for the ILS. Give us a little bit of separation there. Get rid of the music again, we don't need that. Andrew, yeah, so when the beta thing goes live properly, 02, 056, 30-degree intercept, that'll do, we'll set that accordingly.
Canary traffic 1744 on a 12-mile final to the ILS, 3 left, Gran Canaria.
That'll be whoever that was. So we're going to maintain 180 till 4 DME, till 8 DME, and then 160 till 4 QNH, yes, thank you. 1021. It's getting sidetracked, avoiding traffic. Good shout, Ashley. Approach mode is armed. So we're heading select in vertical speed mode currently. That'll do. Let's recycle some of those. He's about 8 miles ahead of us. That's good. Spacing. (180), 3000, below the glide slope, and we're waiting for that lateral guidance now. The needle's moving. Here we go. So the lock's active. Altitude's still armed at 3, and we make sure we've got our checks. Our charts ready to go for the approach.
Palma traffic, Vegas 141, descending 3,800 feet, approaching RS 03 left, 30 miles.
Gran Canaria traffic, Binter 6 Zulu uniform is established ILS 03 left, 14 miles, 180 knots, QNH 1021, Gran Canaria traffic.
Happy landing, sir.
Thank you. You too, whoever that was as well. One is getting gear and everything out yet.
Traffic, Walker 1744 established on the 6-mile final to the
I can see that aircraft there, that Walker.
Gran Canaria.
And we are headed inbound. So speed's good actually, 170-ish knots. This is as close to 180 as we can do. We're going to make sure power management dial goes back across to takeoff. Drone camera loves to spin around. You've got all those massive wind farms there on approach again. 178. 185 knots. About 15.
Great Canaria traffic, Osprey 2472, it's approximately 20
little bit of power
to the south of the field,
just to offset the extra drag. Nose is going to come down a little bit artificially because of that flap extension. Just going to let the speed trickle away now, 10 miles roughly. So it's a bit of a nose down pitch. Jaffa, I would imagine, to begin with, yes, I would imagine it'd probably break it for a little while until the developers patch a fix perhaps. But I would imagine they've already got the beta themselves and they're working on how their mods will interact with it when it goes live in the future. The kind of development teams are usually very good at that sort of thing. Control visualizer. Glide slope's active. I'm going to make sure we've idled the throttle now. Gear extension, 170 knots with 162 at the moment, so we're going to go gear down. 8 mile final. 160 till 4, so we're going to hold 160 or so. It's the challenge in these smaller aeroplanes. We've got to try and, for these bigger airports, especially with a lot of traffic inbound behind us, that might be airliners, A320, 737s, 767s, 757s, all that sort of thing. We've got to make sure that we are holding 160 till 4 to help the aeroplane, but it does mean that we end up with this wild nose down pitch. Look at that. Cracking wind farms below, yeah. Very windy as well, actually. It's kind of throwing us around a little bit. I mean, look at that for a nose down attitude. Wow. I'm going to focus on the forward vision here of the aeroplane. Yeah, control visualizers up, light signs, so that's all good. Recall, power management sets, missed approach, set and briefed. Here we go. Gran Canaria traffic, Binter 6 Zulu uniform is 5 mile final, ILS 03 left. 150, still watching that speed come off now. We want it to commit just below 150 properly before we go to full flap. Like so. Still leaving it in idle. Those of you who saw my trim video the other day with the ATR might kind of recognise this being a salient point really, and that is the fact that because at the moment we are decelerating with the aeroplane, it is entirely pointless us chasing that trim. It's just going to confuse the aeroplane, something that's quite a transient moment in flight. So we're just going to let it settle first before we think about even trimming anything. Yaw damper can come off. Make sure we've got the control visualizer sorted out. My controls. Ground speed, we've got a 15 knot headwind at the moment. Ground speed at the minute only 97 knots, so it's going to take us a little while to get there. So that's me trimming now, because when I let go it's got this tendency to pitch up. I don't want that. I'm not actually following the flight directive as such now, I'm just flying it as a visual approach.
And Gran Canaria traffic, Osprey 2472 is established on the localizer for runway 03.
So I've let go of the controls. It's trimmed nicely now for that pitch at that speed and that rate of descent. So now if I idle the throttles a little bit more, it's going to increase our rate of descent slightly. There you go, 600 foot per minute now at the trim, 800, 900 foot per minute. We want pitch for speed, power for vertical speed. It's kind of against what your brain thinks. We've covered that, chatted about that in my trim tutorial for the ATR that went live 2 days ago, I think it was, or yesterday. Hopefully you guys find that useful.
Approaching minimum.
Very bumpy. Gear down 3 green, now flap 30 sets.
Minimum.
Continue. A little bit bumpy, but we've got it. Extending that sense line through the aeroplane. Making sure we're quick and accurate on any adjustments with this weather.
And Gran Canaria traffic, Osprey 2472 is established on the ILS 03 left, on 10 nautical miles. Gran Canaria traffic.
50, 40, 30, 20.
Hold that flare. Hold that picture, don't let it change. And let that nose gently come down, there we go. And then a bit of pressure on the stick. Decelerating nicely actually, at 90 knots, and then just a bit of manual brakes. Help decelerate the aeroplane. We're going to aim to vacate Sierra 2 coming up. Better than La Gomera, hey? 72 knots. So still, by putting that bit of it forward stick there on the nose wheel, it gives us a bit more nose wheel steering authority, which is really crucial. 50 knots to vacate on the high speed exit.
141 on final 03 left, 5 miles.
Gate Mike 04 apparently. Gran Canaria traffic, Binter 6 Zulu uniform has vacated Sierra 2, taxi to Mike 4. Mike 4, where is it? All the way over there. Kimi Raikkonen's coming to pick us up with the follow me car. Hello Dursey 2. Just going to make sure we are clear of the runway a little bit. We are.
Gran Canaria traffic,
Here we come.
2472, 5 nautical miles short final, runway 03 left. Gran Canaria traffic.
Where the hell did he go? Kimi, come back. Where the hell is he going? He's gone wild, he's gone rogue. Oh well, let's navigate ourselves then. My goodness. Okay, Foxtrot. Let's get landing lights off, strobes, taxi lights can remain on for now. Good old GSX. Crazy on the brakes, my goodness. Top left, you've got the landing rate there with parallel 42's Flow Pro. A little short of the actual touchdown aiming point, but looks to be on the touchdown zone nevertheless. Still reckons the safety car's coming. Not the safety car, the you guys get the drift. Follow me car.
Gran Canaria traffic, Osprey 2472, 2 nautical mile, very short final, runway 03 left. Gran Canaria traffic.
Super short final, my god. That follow me car's just razzing around everywhere. That looked nice, that touchdown there. That's it, you get the drift of it. Cool, sector 2 of 2. That one, much smoother. FMS mode back on. There he is still. Just racing around, no clue.
Canada traffic, Pegasus 141, vacated 03 left, the taxi to gate via Sierra Gomera.
Oh, look at that for timing. Nice, that was bang on the touchdown zone. Oh, Kimi Raikkonen's just found us. There he comes. I have no idea where he went. Follow me has arrived. The gate is in about 5 stands distance. Where are we now? Tango 7. But to be fair, it's all the way up there, isn't it?
Gran Canaria traffic, Osprey 2472 is exited the active runway at Sierra 2.
Oh god, it's right down the bottom. Should have just rolled down to Sierra 3. Can't even keep up with old Kimi there. He's off. And now he's found the right gate. Well done, that man. Okay, so a little trick with this then. You need to keep the speed up. Then you can start thinking about feathering and shutting down engine 1. But if we brake now at any point, it's going to really scupper us. Mike 04, here we go for the turn. Got to keep it in motion. Okay, pop brake set. Controls can be relaxed. Gust lock engaged. And we're going to do officially the 2 set to feather. Onto the overhead panel then. Prop brakes green and ready. We're going to open the guard, close it, select on, unlock goes blue, prop brake engaged.
Gran Canaria traffic, customer 2472 is taxiing to stand P02 via Romeo 7. Gran Canaria traffic.
Clear. Very good parking. Goes a little bow as well.
The boarding requested.
Oh, he's disappeared. See ya. So we've got a walk-in route here, so they should, with a custom GSX profile, follow this green pathway here.
Passengers, the boarding started.
Let's see. What a great screenshot that is, though. Osprey in the backdrop. Let's see what we scored, folks, on our next route. Window capture, and we'll close the route on New Sky. Bam! 10. Happy days. Used slightly less than estimated by about 7 knots, 7 kilograms as well. Not bad at all. Look at that for a little VFR sector. Very good, very nice. Actually, is that Lanzarote where that guy's from? Very good, very nice. Hello, chicken nugget. Hello, Nicki Minaj. GCLP to GCFV. Next leg. Yeah, they look like they're actually coming this way. Ha! Ollie! That's because we're flying a VFR route. There's no VNAV that can really assist us because we have no VNAV profile set up in the FMS. So VNAV for these first 2 sectors entirely useless to us. Here they come. Boris and the gang. Andrew says, as far as I'm concerned, you are hired, Luke. All this evidence from your channel should be enough for an airline to consider to hire yourself in a pilot paid apprenticeship program. That'd be the day, wouldn't it? It'd be an absolute dream come true. Imagine one day getting an email from like the CEO of EasyJet going, "Hello, I did years ago, about a year ago now, 1 year ago, I had an email from the recruitment team at EasyJet asking if I would like to be considered for a job based on my YouTube channel in their flight route and navigation department." And I thought, how epic. And then I looked at the pay and it's pretty abysmal, so I politely said no. It was like 24 grand a year. GCLP to GCFV, and I think this might be the first time flying to Fuertaventura on the channel. I might be wrong. You guys will know if I am or not. And this one, you'll be pleased to know, is an IFR flight plan, so we're going to do things a little bit differently. I've just got to configure our flight plan on SimBrief for New Sky. while all these are getting off. Hey, is that John Mason? 3 left. 3 right for departure. ILS 01 Zulu expected for the arrival. Copua 1 Alpha, Copud 3 Sierra. That is literally it. Altitude 9,000 feet again. British Airways, Mad Rabbit. And in what airfare? A350, it's got to be. Pretty cool, right? And what was the altitude I said? 9,000. 60 passengers this time. Lock time of 45 minutes. And our call sign for this leg, Binter 398 Hotel.
Canary traffic, Osprey 1964, vacating on left.
Copper 1 Alpha. Coppered 3 Sierra into GCFV via Serpu, the ILS 01 Zulu approach. Gate 22 Bravo. Generate that. Proper Canary hops this. All real routes, real ops. $5,000 feet. Let's generate that. And we've got to make sure we filed it on VATSIM. So pre-file on a network. Super short route this. Wow. IBB 398 Hotel. Literally one waypoint, coppered. There you go. So disconnect, connect. 398 Hotel. See if we can get some of these screenshots loaded onto Volanta as well before we regenerate the next route. So import from SimBrief, LPA to Fuertaventura. Fuel button on the landing ramp says, commentator's been riding a Triumph Rocket 3 this weekend, 2.3 litre bit. Yeah, that is an absolute beast, my goodness. The only beverage we serve Jayfoot is gin and tonic on board, unfortunately, or red wine, nice red wine. Andrew, they're the ones that landed in La Gomera with us earlier on. They stayed on the plane. So GCLP to GCFV. Before I commit that though, I'm going to go to the weight and balance tab. Make sure that we've put this in as well. So now we need 1586 block fuel.
Do you want to deboard crew?
We'll have a slight overlap there of those items. Reload SimBrief as well. We've got to do that. SimBrief OK. Request boarding. Payload. What have we got? 4636. That's as close as we can get. Oops, 1000. 4636, bingo. Look at that, quick math. 1584, 1586. So we just want to make that rounded up to 987. My God, that's buggy. Jeez. That's a right mess. Anyway. Execute. I'm going to leave it there for a moment just to go and initialize these weights that we've now set as well for the new route. Or 554. That'll do. Reserves as well, FinRes plus alternate. Briefing preview 841.
Traffic line at 60 Lima Hotel, accepting the ILS runway 07.
Up here we will go to the payload tab and we'll set those accordingly in there to refresh the aeroplane. We'll give that a wiggle as well, just to refresh the power management dial. Back to the flight plan then, in the routes. Oops. GCLP. Runway 03 right. Kopua 1 Alpha, which is on the next page. And then we find GCFV. And we're expecting the ILS 01 Zulu via coppered 3 Sierra and transition at Serpu. That is literally it, I think. So if we now pull the data, come on Valanta, upload those screenshots. Another super short route for us today. And he stayed on the plane because they were jammed in between the suites with the heavy landing. Yeah, that's probably about right, isn't it? And there were no ambulances or hospitals available to take them as patients at La Gomera. Is that baggage unloading still in progress? Jeez, it is. Good job, we've got a few minutes. Right, we'll give people a couple of minutes to catch up. I'll be back in about 60 seconds. Just going to fill up my glass of water. If in doubt, spawn, Zulu is the one that you pick. That's the one that's most frequently used. But it depends on the arrival that you're using. Some of the stars might only fix into the ILS Yankee, and some might only work the ILS Zulu, for example.
Now traffic line at 60 Lima Hotel, sign approach runway 02.
Rightio. Where do we get to? Charts. So, initially we're going to taxi out on Romeo 12 onto Romeo, Zulu 2 for a crossing onto Zulu 6 and then departing 03 right. Big old long runway there, but taking off 03 right onto the Coppered 1 Alpha, up to Ecos, and then Coppered 1 Alpha outbound from the Gran Canaria VOR 1129 at outbound radial of 090 degrees to head eastbound up to Coppered. From Coppered, we literally head straight into the star. And we're going to use VNAV for both sectors here. But we'll see if the VNAV works. We've not had topper descent yet today because of the data that we've not really given the aeroplane. But into Serpu, and then we can select the approaches that we're going to be using. ILS Zulu 01 via Serpu transition. It's going to look like that. And that then translates to this on the chart. So Serpu 5000, 14 DME from Fuertaventura's VOR 1141, 12 DME arc, descending down to 2,500 feet, inbound course of 005 degrees, runway 01. So that then translates into here as well with a discontinuity which we can clear accordingly. At Serpu, 5,000 at or above, the constraint is there, that's good to see. We can add the winds at various waypoints if we want to as well, sim brief, just to really help the VNAV. So actually the 5,000 foot winds at Serpu are forecast to be 023 degrees at 13 knots. Ah, 023, I forget that it's a bit of a funky way of doing this. And it's like, is it flight level 50? Bloody thing. 023. I'm determined to remind myself how to do this. /50. Bingo. A little bit of a discontinuity, that's fine, we'll leave that. Perth page 6,000. Look at that runway length, 10,143 feet. Ooh. Cruise mean winds 319 at 6. That's quite calm actually. And cruise altitude for this next sector 9,000 feet. Landing lights remaining on throughout. 7,000. And the QNH and the weather. This will be the first test actually, I think. GCFV. Pop that into the live chat. QNH 1020. We're going to deselect the approach speeds there as well. We're pretty much there. On the charts, the outbound, what have we got? So 17 DME below 3,000 there it says. So we're going to whack it up to 9,000 anyway, our cruise for today. Doc's saying there that in real life they probably got vectors that didn't do the DME arc. We'll see what happens. Jafet, no, we're off to Fuerteventura. 2,000's already still set anyway. The transponder, that's all good. We can such a short sector. .284. 290 is going to be what we round it to. And we can tune in things like Fuerteventura VOR as well, so let's get rid of the ILS's for now. 1141. And 1144. Going to be applicable for a missed approach, I think. Is it? No, it's not actually. That's fine. We'll tune 141 as well. Keep doing that, getting the two confused. And then we want 1095. No NDBs. Marlos, welcome. Very good, thank you. I hope you're well. .005. Set that. Snap that back. Pop it back on FMS mode. So we go magenta. Clear that discontinuity. Let's just connect the dots. Oh, Ashley, fantastic! I did not know that. Very exciting. I'd already requested boarding.
Boarding requested.
Let's see how quick they can do it. When's our pushback due? 14:45. Atlanta. There's our current sort of sectors and stuff so far. Hergy's inbound.
Passengers boarding starting.
And we can end this flight plan. Start a new flight plan. Add a flight plan from VATSIM. Ta-da! They're still connecting the islands up there like so. We've got Lanzarote there for an extra little hop bonus one. Jolly good. It's got this really annoying aircraft UI model thing that I find just exceptionally frustrating. It should say ATR 72, but ECMVI, let's see if I can change that. AT76 IBB. Done. That's better. I think it is J-Foot. Off the top of my head, I think it is. Cool. Sector 2. Done. Sector 3, boarding. Simwings Gran Canaria is what we're at the moment, and a custom GSX profile which has been carefully created so that passengers follow those green lines and all that sort of thing as well, which is nice to see. I just want to check to see if I've got GCLA installed as well, because there's potential for a bonus leg, time permitting. We're on track for it. Oh god, where is it? Desktop. Who made GCLA? Simwings? GCLA La Palma. Cool. Well, let's get rid of these guys. 60 out of 78 passengers. That's all good. That's all set. Start flight. Beavers, I haven't, no. And one of the big primary reasons there from me is because we just have some mega issues with the way it all kind of works on Microsoft Store version. You have to reinstall the sim. It's just an absolute nightmare. Not something that I want to do, really, when you come out of the beta. Look at that. Oh, I was just about to ask, is that the same geezer? Because he was about to have another thing with a supervisor. Yeah, I mean that's the biggest reason why I don't use the beta, to be honest. It's really frustrating. Where's La Palma? Oh, it's over there. So that's actually quite a cool route. Oh no, crazy, isn't it, Cythera? But then it is a Sunday, I suppose. Are we surprised? Probably not. 31 out of 60. Chop chop, folks. 32 out of 60. All boarding. There's one of these here. In fact, that guy might be the last one. Oh no. There's more there. Let's restart QATL though, because we want to stay ahead of it. When did we say New Sky is good? So 14:45. We're within the block time for pushback here. Yeah, it's about 20 something knots, isn't it? Departure again. Just refresh the METAR inside the live chat. There you go. 020 at 26 knots. Prepare for pushback and departure. Binter Atlantica. Yes, I do want to request pushback. Okay, overhead panel, no white lights, prop brakes active, engine 2. Clear the chocks, close the doors and the hatches.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
I love that feature. Somebody pointed out a little while ago, didn't even know it was the thing. Very cool. QNH 1021 is still good, so we've got that tuned in. That's all set, radios are set. Quick check of VATSIM. Need to pull our new route. Done.
Departure checks complete.
Just lock altitudes and headings. Heading set 025. What is runway heading here? 026. 03 left. Yeah, 026. So 1 across. 026. And we are stand mic 4, aren't we? Oh, look at that! Stop right on the ATR spot there. Hadn't noticed that until now. CRJ's pushing back. Good old New Sky. GSX. And we're going to push start onto say south of Romeo. Gran Canaria traffic. Binter 398 hotel stand mic. 4, push start, face south on Romeo 12. Beacon lights are on. Lights and signs. Pushback's active. We're going to rotate engine 2. JDJ. Prop brake off. Here we go. It's great, Mad Rabbit, isn't it? Just a little extra nod to immersion. We're going to taxi out on one engine. Restart array. Aaron, nice. Close. Look at that for some nice engine clearance there. Wingtip clearance. Like pure pros.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine
Set.
start. You can disconnect.
Lap 15. It's very rare in piss gaming, maybe one every 10 occasions. Do some control surface checks again. Checking the elevator. And the rudder as well.
Gran Canaria traffic, Osprey 2472 is pushing back from stand Papa 02 and we will be facing to the south. Gran Canaria traffic.
Oh, yeah, unlocking gear. Drop the plane. Smash. And weirdly then my brain thought we were actually moving forwards, but we weren't. He's good, they're good, she's going to be clear. We'll pop the taxi lights on. Fuel pumps on run at the moment, that's all good, that's fine. And we're going to have a number of warnings if we press recall anyway, just because of the nature of us taxiing out on one engine. But flap 15, trims are set. What are they shown? Takeoff trim 1.1 up, and it's set at 1.1 up. And now Volantis not wanting to upload any of my images. Of course not. Gran Canaria traffic, Binter 3988 Hotel, taxiing to hold point Zulu 2, runway 03 left via Romeo. Gonna hold short row 03 left and then cross Zulu 6. Bar brakes off. Already rolling. Gonna just test the brakes.
Gran Canaria ground, Osprey 169 Bravo, and we'll be taxiing to runway 23 left behind.
Started on a high idle there. Wanting to taxi and run away quite quickly here. Rab's airborne already. Oh, GSX has gone horribly wrong there. What the? Right, what have we got here? That's all good, that's all set, that's proper balked. We're going to have to taxi all the way down. We'll start A engaged. IDE says, how do you manage the climb in an ATR? A couple of different ways. You can use IAS mode, which is then going to basically target and hold the speed that you want to fly at, set by the either magenta or the manual blue bug. You can use vertical speed if you want to as well, but that could be a little problematic in the climb if you don't manage the power, the speed carefully. Or you can use VNAV. So on this route, we're flying more of an IFR flight plan with altitude constraints and things to assist us. VNAV might be fairly useful in that instance. However, the previous two sectors that we've done had elements of a visual flight plan in it, and because of that, it means that we weren't able to use VNAV at all on those sectors. We're going to keep the speed up, not brake here, because we've got a real big right turn ahead of us here. There we go. Downhill though is helping us massively. Little bit of brakes just to help control the speed. We're on idle at the moment with engine 2 only. There's the windsock. Look at that. Flicking away. Long old taxi this.
Gran Canaria traffic, walk on 1744, taxiing 1 left, Romeo, Gran Canaria.
It's a great headwind, MPS Gaming, yeah. We should find takeoff quite easy here today. Prop brake is off and guarded, that's all good, that's all fine. Lights and signs. Warnings, the ones we expect are on. And speeds auto. Cross check with the speeds as well. Flat 15 set, and we've got engine 1 bleed fault. Let's get engine 1 started. So starter A, engine 1 run into feather. Start mode still active. NH is rising. And automatic. We're going to get single channel there. Now into low pitch on display unit 3. When it gets there, that is. There we go, low pitch. And start has extinguished. Off start and abort. Now it just wants to go zooming along. Ground idle I find now incredibly powerful. So 03 right for our departure today. A little bit more brakes. Can't slow it down any more than that. Could have left it in feather to be fair. But we're about to cross the runway and then take off, so we may as well have the engine properly pitched, ready to go. Rab, yeah, one day. Gran Canaria traffic, Binter 3908 Hotel is crossing runway 03 left at Zulu 2, lining up runway 03 right. Strobes on. Gonna leave the landing lights on as well actually, taxi lights are all good and set. Still no white lights in the overhead panel. There's the windsock. Always look for the windsock before takeoff. Press. Oops. No, you don't. Takeoff config test. And recall, no warnings. Look at that. Properly blowing a gust. That's a better screenshot. At least I'm on the taxiway line there. And then we can have a little look-see here. See, a passenger looks at that, they don't think about the direction of the wind, they just think, oh my god, that looks really strong. It's so windy today. Flight director, LNAV, VNAV, arms. FMS mode set.
Bravo holding short, 03 right.
Gran Canaria traffic, Binter 3908 Hotel is taking off 03 right, Kopua 1 Alpha departure. Flight idle. Notch. Power set. Not a good time So just realised I've got my nav display set incorrectly.
At Zulu 2. Gran Canaria
New
traffic.
one, rotate. Careful on the pitch, just allowing it to just gently rotate itself off. There we go.
Gran Canaria traffic
And then
off with
staring at the flight
Binter,
directors.
or,
Positive right.
control runway
Gear up.
03 right,
Nav
holding
display selected.
3 minutes separation.
Slap on the wrist from me.
Clear to the way.
Pretty flat retraction speed already. Away we go.
And Gran Canaria traffic, goes by 2472.
Your damper.
Runway 03 left. And we'll
Autopilot
hold
engaged.
Zulu 6.
And away we go.
Runway 03 right. Gran Canaria traffic.
Lovely job. And away we go. Next sector.
Canary traffic 1744 holding short 03 left. 543.
What else have we got here for views? Pretty nice. Smash out a couple of screen grabs. I'll put them on Volanta as well. Which I do find struggles lately.
Gran Canaria traffic, Walker 1744, lining up 03 left, Gran Canaria.
Power management climb. VNAV speeds weirdly didn't activate. LNAV is active though. That's fine because the aeroplane's going to pitch up nicely now to go back to a climb at 170 knots. That's going to give us a bit of a boost in altitude. There we go. Look at that for a view. Fantastic. Really great place to fly, Gran Canaria. And the Canary Islands in general as well. Plus not far from here, if you kind of headed directly north from here, pretty much, you've got Madeira. Of course, a good old flight sim favourite. I'm just going to go on to airspeed select for climb now instead of VNAV, just to get up to our cruise. I know the waypoint there says 3,000 at or below, but we're on Unicom and had a little look around us. We can't see any issues with traffic, and therefore we can climb beyond.
And Gran Canaria traffic, goes by 2472, lining up runway 03 right.
Progress so far.
2 minutes.
So out of Tenerife North, a little bit of a hand-flown departure, and then from there we went VFR, cancelled the flight plan, headed round the island like they did in real life. Really screwed up the approach. Tried an orbit to try and lose altitude, didn't work. Thermals, weather, everything else really against us. Declared another go around. Went round, flew a little bit of a loose circuit. Not the best though. I thought that it seemed a lot neater than it actually looks on there. And then a kind of like a curved base to final approach, where we then managed a nice touchdown. From there, took off, headed out from the circuit, all the way across to Gran Canaria, where we find ourselves now. Heading mode, having to sort the aeroplane out because it doesn't know how to fly an intercept. Interesting.
Traffic, Walker 1744, taking on 03 left, Gran Canaria.
There's my charts. I'm going to go direct, coppered, nav. Get me there. Safely and properly. Pretty much what we want anyway. 170, 6,000. Standard pressure. Hello Brandon, welcome. So, climb gate set, that's all set. We're in climb mode. Let's expand the radius of our nav display. So we can kind of roughly see what we're going to get. We've got a little bit of top of descent now actually.
Okay, traffic is 2472, taking off runway.
Yeah, I realised the manual was still there. We've just gone a direct 2. We've basically established on the element of the charts that we needed 2 anyway. So if I go to here, you can kind of see the overlay there. Ecos, and then we've flown outbound towards Coppered now. So we're on that line anyway. When we get to Coppered, in fact there we go. Zooming in, we're going to be heading out 075 54 DME from GDV, which is all the way back over there, Gran Canaria's VOR, and then into Serpu. So Coppered, all the way to Serpu, the initial approach fix, and then from there, as we discussed on the ground, initially heading 043 degrees inbound for this 12 DME arc around the Fuertaventura VOR. Before then establishing for the ILS. We're going to see if the aeroplane can do it, but I don't think it can because of what it looks like on the nav display. So initially the arc is there, and then it just really gets confused. So we'll have a look at the data. Yeah, it doesn't get it. So we will self-vector ourselves from Serpu round on the approach instead. 1,000 below. Seatbelt signs off. We've left the other lights and things on as well for now though, because we are flying around below 10,000 feet. We're on standard pressure though and imminent to cruise. And then in the live chat, met our GCFV, try to remember the code. We'll pull the meta for Fuertaventura. Grab my pen so I'll write down the local QNH for the descent. 1020. So that's the latest METAR as of about 25 minutes ago now. Wind 050 degrees at 16 knots. So an element of crosswind there actually for us to contend with now. View clouds 3000, temperatures 23 degrees Celsius, dew point 14 degrees Celsius, and the QNH 1020. If we then turn our attention back to Navigraph, you can see on the left hand side of your screen we've got an 11 knot crosswind and a 12 knot headwind for runway 01 today. So in fact, is the limit for crosswind in this 15 knots? We're almost at the limit. I might have to get somebody to cross check that. I think the limit's about 15 knots crosswind in the ATR 72. Unless that's the tailwind limit. I can't remember. There so many planes in my head. It's going to be interesting anyway. That's it's going to be challenging. 11 knots crosswind, 12 knots headwind for us to worry about. VATSIM Martin all day long. I haven't bothered with IVAO at all. Not really sure why. 01 look, it's got this massive stopway. So that could be quite confusing for our eye. In fact, very confusing for our eye, because your eye is naturally going to be drawn to this area here, where you physically expect there to have there to be a threshold and a sort of touchdown zone for you to aim at. It's not there. It's 1,000 meters up beyond that stopway, which means Fuertaventura has its own kind of challenge in a way, because you're fighting what your brain wants to do. You're having to look 2,300, about 1,250 meters up the runway for the threshold. So then it makes it quite tough for your depth perception again there, because of the amount of concrete stretching in front of you prior to you reaching that threshold and the touchdown zone. And then we'll probably be able to vacate Echo 6. We're expecting gate 22 Bravo. If we get this shipped around, turned around quick enough, we might actually be able to get to La Palma as well for an extra one. That's the stopway we're on about. 1,000 meters. Right at the end of 01. before the main bit of the runway starts. And Echo 6 most of the way at the top. Weird. Weird but challenging in its own right. Elevation of 83 feet at Fuertaventura. Yeah, and we've done the rest. We chatted about the missed approach prior to our departure from Gran Canaria. So climbing on a radial of 005 Fuertaventura to 530 feet. Then turn right, max 185 knots onto 107 degrees to intercept and follow the outbound radial 066 degrees Fuerteventura's VOR. Proceed to tender, climb to 4000 and join the hold. So we've got 1141 active at the moment. That's the Fuerteventura VOR in nav 1 and nav 2. We've got 109.5 tuned in for that ILS approach, both nav 1 and nav 2 again. As we saw there from that little point there, DME arc, it kind of juts out south instead of nicely connecting up to fly the final approach, which is a bit weird. So we will take control in heading mode at that point, or just prior to. See what it does. Swamp, hello, good afternoon. Very nice. Ibiza to LEBB to Gatwick in Vueling for you today. And Mikkel at work, hello to you. Thanks for tuning in. Oop, power management, get sidetracked with chatting about random things. Forget to switch that to cruise. We can bring that range ring in again a little bit more. So, coppered in 10. And here comes Fuertaventura. I think it's the first time. Did somebody work it out? Is it the first time we've ever flown into here on a stream? I think it might be. Very exciting. A lot of payware scenery around this part of the world. Some of it better than others. Simwings La Palma is one of them as well. I have purchased it just in case we get to stretch there today. Aaron, yes, it's a long one. It's a very long one. .013. They're all good and set. Max speed 220 knots in 10 miles. We're only doing 225 anyway, so I'm not too worried. Serpu at 5,000 feet. So I'm going to go in here, find Serpu. I'm going to just change this to 5,000. And there you go, it's moved our top of descent. So we'll descend on VNAV in the first instance. With that in mind, we're going to set, I don't know, 3,000, 2,500. 2,500 will be a good one, actually. That'll work out quite nicely. If you enjoyed today's live stream, by the way, first time I've kind of forgotten to remind you guys anyway, make sure you hit like, and if you're new to the channel, very warm welcome to you. Thanks for joining us today. Hit subscribe as well. Something different, we've kept the pressure on throughout actually as well, so we've not had much of a break throughout these sectors so far. It's been quite full on, but otherwise very fun as well. Hopefully you guys flying along on VATSIM with us agree. Costa Calma ahead of us. Montana del Cardon as well, just on the left of the pillar in front of us too. Puerto de la Cruz is down here. There are two tiny little, in fact you can just about see them, two tiny little airfields down there. You can see the runway there, and there is another one there on the bottom of the island there. Top of descent coming up. Just going to bring the speed back a little bit just to respect that constraint a bit more accurately if I can. All of the screenshots throughout today will go onto Discord too. I'll put them all in there for you guys, and naturally as always I'll pick a few and I'll stick them on Instagram and all that sort of stuff too. VNAV mode, oops. Interesting. Going into like some wild VNAV path, there we go. A bit of a wild bit of behaviour there. Let's go to idle and slow the plane down. We're going to manually select a speed here for 215, roughly. See what it gives us. Just bringing it above flight idle there. Very nice. Trying to upload one more screenshot here. It's not happening. Onto Volanta. Badger is on his way back to Manchester from Bergen on a 757-200. Very nice, old school. Great aircraft. Rab says it was a bit sporty at Fuertaventura with that long crosswind. Let's see if we can get the ATR to cooperate. Yeah, still 11 knot crosswind, 12 knot headwind. ILS Zulu runway 01. Fuertaventura traffic, Binter 3908 Hotel, ATR 72600, QNH 1020, currently inbound Serpu. Coppered 3 Sierra arrival, expecting ILS Zulu runway 01 approach. Will report turning final. Fuertaventura traffic. Great, great scenery. Look at that. Remarkably nice. 6,800. We'll go to local pressure now. 1020. It's going to cause us some slight changes to our VNAV path. That's good. Let's bring that speed down a little bit more. And signs. Lights and signs. No white lights. Now this is the sort of flying this ATR is designed for. People underestimate its capability and also the enjoyment you can get from it as well. It is such a great aeroplane add-on in the sim, and at £10, remarkably incredible value. Can't fault it, even with its quirks and its bugs. Such good fun. You know, we've zipped around the Canaries now. 3 sectors in. We've been low and slow, 9,000 feet, 8,000 feet, 11,000 feet, cruise. And we've had some great views. Christopher, to be fair, I second that. I like the idea of that. We should really be throwing ourselves into some nice Caribbean ops. VNAV's got us down quite nicely at Serpu there. Round we go. Fuertaventura's coming up over the mountains. This is spectacular. 1095, let's get those active in the box. Heading mode active, VILS mode, we're going to go to VS mode as well. We'll continue the descent down. Perf. Approach speed active. And we're going to go to auto speed mode. Spawn Gaming, thanks buddy, have a good one. Here comes some turbulence. And we're just going to self-vector now. Roughly within the constraints of the arrival, but we've got that issue there. Pointless us trying to chase and fight it. We may as well just self-vector and keep it neat. What do we want here? We'll go to, yeah, 1000 foot per minute is fine. VILS mode, course set 005. We're going to cross check that with chart. 005 is good. And missed approach is brief. We've got it in blue on the nav display. Shoedog, hello, welcome. Absolutely, and Michael as well, welcome to you too. Thousand above. Rex, have a good one, buddy. No worries at all. That is much more important. Power management, takeoff, auto, park brakes off. Minimums are set. Frequency is set, checked. Is there a terrain display in the ATR? There is. Let's see, navigate, terrain. There you go. Got a bit of power in here. Been a bit sloppy with that power management. Let's get back to 180. 005. 035 for an intercept at about 30 degrees. Well, this will be the last sector as well, folks, by the way. I'm not going to be able to make it to La Palma. It's about an hour's flight time, isn't it? It's a bit too far for today. Got to get the dog dropped off somewhere else a little later on, prior to going back to work tomorrow. There's the runway. Got it. Cool. We are ready. Zero 035 for the intercept at about 30 degrees, and we're going to go approach mode arms. Watch that speed. We don't want it to run away too quickly. Get rid of that terrain mode. For now, 1095, 1095. And the needle's moving. Clock's alive. Sadly not, Elliot. I work in and around aviation, to be fair, so you'd probably say I do work. I am involved in aviation. Fuertaventura traffic, Binter 3908 Hotel is established. 9 miles final, ILS 01. $4,000 set. 173, that's good for gear down and flap 15, let's do it. Lovely, very, very nice. Let's prep sky dolly as well. We'll replay this once we park up on stand. We'll replay the landings from a few angles to see what they look like. And we want to start the descent now on idle properly. Glide slopes alive, below 140 knots. And we'll go flap 30. Elliot, that's pretty cool. I bet you had a great time. Gear down, 3 green, flaps 30 and set. Power management is set to take off. Final check of the rest of the aeroplane systems. I'll do a recall. Good. Land.
Fuertaventura traffic, Walker 1744 is currently on the base to circle for 1 ILS 1 Zulu.
Speed's just trickling away. Again, we've got distance, so I'm not going to worry about fighting the speed too much. But I have noticed that the aeroplane this time now has actually gone below the glide slope a little bit there. With the gusts, the crosswind, say for example, that headwind drops off and it becomes a more predominant crosswind, we can end up being a bit too slow for the approach, we could end up sinking. So for that reason, just flying slightly faster on the approach than I otherwise would do. And do they do big golf courses at Fuertaventura? Look at that, my goodness. Golf City. Yaw damper. Yeah, we're all good. We're set. Get down 3 green. Yaw damper disengaged. Autopilot off. My controls. So that little gust there has kind of just pushed us very quickly off towards the side. Let's get the control visualizer up for you guys so you can see. There's that big old displaced threshold that we mentioned. So from here, we were talking about how that could be quite confusing to the eye. It looks like we're a lot higher than we otherwise want to be, doesn't it? It also gives the appearance of the runway being a lot smaller than it actually is as well. So we have to trust the ILS instruments as best as we can and not get sucked in to a touchdown down here, which would be incredibly easy to do. Hello Jack, welcome. Oh, crosswinds just gusted an extra 10 knots all of a sudden. Now 25. About 15 knot crosswind again for us. So at the minute we're pointing towards that red boat over in the water. Look how deceiving that runway is. Dangerous. We can take off from the displaced threshold with the arrows, but we can't land on it. That will be because it's not been rated for a bit of power there, just a sudden bit of sink. It's not been rated for touchdowns.
Traffic,
The weight associated with an airplane landing on it. Look how high it makes us look like we are, even though we're not. I'm going to stop talking about stuff and just focus on landing here.
200.
Sync, we don't want that. Windsocks on the left 50, if you want to catch a glimpse.
40, 30, 20,
oh.
10.
Oh my god. Tell you what, that is not pretty, and the gusts, I mean look at that aileron there, just trying to keep on the centre line. Crikey. Underground idle. .99 foot per minute it says at the bottom, on the top right I mean. And I'm going to leave the engines both running so that we have that easier kind of replay as well. Let's get the flaps up.
Fuertaventura traffic, Osprey 2472, it's established on the localizer for runway.
Yeah, definitely not getting a 10 this time.
Fuertaventura traffic.
You've little faith. Gate 22 Bravo. Try and find me charts. 22 Bravo, so found it.
Fuerteventura traffic 1744, 3 mile final 01, Fuerteventura.
36 seconds. Let's have a little look though. Not bad, I was properly fighting that though. We were getting pushed to the left of the runway quite a lot there, but we made it. Where the hell is he going? Follow me's a bit weird, isn't it, today? We'll revoke follow me. Lima 2. I wish they left it a couple of minutes for us there. Could have spotted them land with the crosswind. 20. Yes, it doesn't recognise 22 Bravo, so we're going to be quick in parking at 22 instead. Because that's where the VDGS is. And I've left the taxi lights on because of the way that Sky Dolly works with replaying everything.
And Fuertaventura traffic, Osprey 2472 is established on the glide slope for runway 01. 8 nautical mile final for Osprey 2472. Fuertaventura traffic.
God, it just wants to accelerate.
Fuerteventura from traffic 1744, clear 01.
Done. 87 I assume would be where we're meant to stop, but it is what it is. Sky dolly. Very quickly, new sky. Oh, 9.39 off centerline landing. It's marked under bad conditions though. Look, 8 meters. We're just slightly shy of that by a meter. But greased the touchdown, so it was actually too soft. So we had points deducted for the landing being too soft there, which is quite realistic. Something that we as flight simmers don't really kind of appreciate that much. Most aeroplanes won't land that smoothly because it's not good for it. But you know, that's not bad actually with the conditions that we faced. We'll watch a touchdown. We'll get drone camera ready. Follow aircraft switched off. God, look at that windsock. That big old extended threshold looks so deceiving. And then we've got to contend with this whopper of a crosswind that's gusting. Towards the limits of the aeroplane as well, I might add. And it only really hits you more at the end. So throughout the little bit of approach we had at about sort of, I don't know, 1,000 to 200, 300 feet, it wasn't too bad for us. Yet, second we were getting down towards flare, all of a sudden that wind kind of started to really beat us. But it was close. You know what, anything over 7.5 I'm quite happy with. Absolutely.
Fuerteventura traffic, Osprey 2472, 2 nautical mile short final for runway 01. Fuerteventura traffic.
Got one on short final, but very quickly that was our little routing for today. Nice little line of connect the dots around Tenerife to La Gomera, Gran Canaria, and now Fuerteventura. I can't dock. I will get a copyright strike. Here he comes. Oh my god, look at that. If we just go to the centre line here of the runway. Jeez! Here he comes. It's one heck of a crosswind. He's down. But is he down safe? My god. Don't let that wing hit. Oh. He's down. Nice. It's tough that. I mean, this was aside from La Gomera being La Gomera, that's a hard approach here. Great save indeed, Delta Tango.
Fuerteventura traffic, Osprey 2472 has cleared the active runway and we'll need a new pair of underpants. Fuerteventura traffic.
I'm going to disconnect from VATSIM briefly into observer mode, so I'll still be able to see people. It's just so we can get those get those replays of our touchdown now. And I'll try and get a screenshot of everybody parked up as well. So. Boink. $421 profit I made there.
Hey, Fuerteventura traffic.
Pretty rubbish.
2472 taxi into the gate.
Don't sink.
We got all the lights on. Doesn't recognise them, sadly. Right, yeah, so I think we'll do this runway kind of view again. This is our replay. Yeah, exactly, Rav. It's still green. Oh, look at that. I was doing so well to this point, and look at that big old kick where the wind's just pushing us. Look at that crab. Oh. Oh, that looked like a tail strike. We'll pretend like it wasn't. And that wing did kind of drop there as well. God, that was tough. Should we see it from the passenger's perspective?
Don't sink.
Zip, zip, zip.
Don't sink.
Lights.
Don't sink.
Signs, speed, gear. Let's see. Crab. So we crabbed towards the runway, didn't we? Yeah. Let's see what we get in this point of view here. I wonder if we get to see some of the runway. Lovely approach though, look at that. Very scenic. They're just not... They haven't yet realised at this point how close they are to death. It must be weird as well seeing that below you. Taxiway so low. Yeah, it's an inclined runway with a massively extended displaced threshold, making that really quite tough to judge your distance and your height above the ground, your depth perception, and then that massive whopper of a crosswind. Look at that, they didn't even know. Oh, that wing! I was using so much aileron there to try and keep that righted there. So I wonder if that's the view. Here we go. Oh, Rab, that's not good. There must be something else causing the issues. There's the crab. There's the big old kick of the rudder to try and hold us on the runway. Oh, God, that looks even closer. And then one more, because I'm super curious. We do it from here. Fair enough, Rab. Proper weird though. Keep an eye on the tail. I'm certain I tail striked it. You didn't get the noise though. And I mean, to be fair, that might be Sky Dolly, the way Sky Dolly's replaying it as well. Oh. No, actually. Not bad. Stewart's inquiry. I mean, that's hairy as heck. Well, that didn't like it, but let's just play it again, because that's the replay messing up. Oh, just got away with that. Just avoided a tail strike. My goodness. Let's see as well, if we go to outside view. It looks such a terrible landing. In fact, I know. Insert, end. Yes, here we go. It's like being in an A350 with more brown trousers. Oh, I mean, I'm quite pleased with that. Except for that bit. And that bit. But my goodness. We zip all the way back to the stands. Lovely job. Reset the views. The old brakes are going to be complaining now hard. Gust lock. Strobes. Can't reach those from here, so I'll have to do that. Just quickly cycle those. Off. Feather. Got brake engaged and guarded. Leave that in feather mode. Yeah, park brake is set. It's a bit of a handbrake. We've put the beacon light off now, like properly. EFB. Aircraft. Chocks. Cargo. Main. Prop. GSX. Quest. Deboarding. Not with jetty. Yeah, at least my aeroplane didn't flip over. That's a big old plus as well, isn't it? Pretty average looking airport this. I think it's MK Studios, who are not a scenery developer I'm really kind of recommending lately because of their nasty Payware version 2 update that they dropped the other week. But here we go. Couple of sectors.
Passengers deboarding started.
Zipping around beautiful Canary Islands. Beginning at Tenerife North, over to La Gomera for a really tricky but fairly sloppy approach as well from me, but we did give it a really good go, tried our best. Passengers seem to have vanished. They're somewhere. Then we've headed up to Gran Canaria. Quite a nice little approach there, and then this absolute whopper of a crosswind into Fuertaventura as well. Hope you guys have all enjoyed the stream today. Hergy's on short final, Doc says. Is he now? Well, we have to watch his touchdown, don't we? You said he's on short final, but I can't see any lights. Let's see. Just reconnect out of observer mode. What is he? Binter 8 Lima. No, he's on the final at a different airport, isn't he?
Do you want to deboard crew? Crew deboarding starting.
Trying to work this out now. Doc's thrown a spanner in the works. Oh, where is Valanta? That'll tell me. Okay, no, there is one on short final. Oh, no, he's touched down. He's landed already. There you go. There's Hergy. Good grief. Right, there we go. Fuerteventura, a bit of an interesting one actually towards the end. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the replay of it with that mega crabbing going on as well, fighting that crosswind to try and keep her on the runway. Paramedics are in attendance, John says. Passengers on oxygen. They need more than that. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the weekend wherever you are in the world and whatever you might be flying in the sim as well. If you're flying any Osprey routes, do share them in our Discord server as always, and keep an eye out as well as we start to configure Osprey Airways for the new cargo flights within New Sky. Osprey World Cargo is a go once again. Thanks for subscribing, hitting the like button, And I look forward to seeing you guys at some point next weekend or towards the end of this week for some more live streams. Haven't worked out what we're going to be flying in yet. Might take the Headwind A330 out for a spin again. That's been a little while. And possibly the Just Flight 146. Catch you guys at the end of the week. Have a great week ahead. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you soon. Take care.